Okay. Apparently we're live. All right. Well, technical issues on our end. Sorry about that. But I'm Sean Gold, and I want to welcome you to Scream 5. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean the OpenVC pitch deck roast number 5. I'm coming to you live from the 305. That's right, Miami, Silicon Swamp. And we have a very special roast for you today, proving that people want to learn, get roasted, and more importantly, laugh. But first, before we get into our roast, we've got a special announcement. I think you're all going to like this. We are doing, for the first time ever, next week, same time, same place, a GP pitch deck roast. We are giving the VCs a taste of their own medicine. An LP, that's right, limited partner, for those not in the know, will be roasting decks from three general partners that they use to raise money for their respective funds. If you've ever been denied and want revenge on those VCs who said you were too early, too small, or just not a right fit for their fund thesis, then you need to be here. We're going to have a link going around in the chat throughout the roast. It's going to be going live on our socials, and it will be hosted by the founder of OpenVC, the executioner in residence, back for one time only, Stefan Nasser. Oh, I'm seeing some nice faces in the chat. How we doing, everybody? Good, great to see you too, Story Funnel. Thanks for being here. If you're new to our roast, feel free to contribute and comment in the live chat. We'd love to hear from you. Oh, nice. Coming to you live from Spanish Springs, Nevada. Shout out to Spanish Springs, Nevada, and anywhere else that you are tuning in from. Feel free to put it in the chat. We are waiting on our special guest roaster. A little bit of technical difficulties here at OpenVC today, but don't worry. We have a very special show for you lined up. So, yeah, buckle up, get ready, because we got something that we've never had before. Decks with revenue. You asked and we listened. That's right. You wanted to see decks that were further along on their startup journey. And with that being the case, we are bringing using them here. I think we have two, maybe three. We'll find out together. And, all right, we are getting resolved. All right, everything is moving forward. Now, the objective of these roasts is to show you how a VC thinks when they open your pitch deck for the very first time. This is being live streamed on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, all the good stuff. Before we start, please help us by liking, sharing, and retweeting. Doing this not only helps us, but makes me more like a promoter and less like an influencer. The last thing we want is an OnlyFans account. And of course, if you want your pitch deck to be roasted, and let's face it, who doesn't? There'll be a link in the live chat to submit if you're brave enough. So we've collected 3 pitch decks from consenting founders, and we are going to roast them live in front of you. To do that, we have to welcome our very special VC guests. He's the COO and general partner at Forum Ventures, my old job, and still a founder at heart, which proves to all of you that, yes, he indeed has one. The Toronto Terror, Jonah Midanik.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Sean. Nice to see you.
Hey, welcome, Jonah. I'm happy to have you here. This is great. I know you've been watching a roast, and now you get to be up here roasting with me. So I'm excited to have you because, 1, you have the experience, 2, you have the knowledge, and 3, most importantly, you have a lack of complete mercy. It's going to be fun. All right. So 3 rules of the roast. Number 1, roasting is good fun, but we will try to be educational and provide actionable advice for founders who are watching. Being able to take a joke in life is so important, especially with decks like these. Just remember, entrepreneurship is a tragedy for those who feel, but a comedy for those who think. Real conditions. Jonah's going to open these decks and spend 2 to 3 minutes on each while saying out loud what he thinks. No filter. We want to see his thought process as he goes through each deck. And he has his checkbooks in the event that I am wrong. Jonah may take a meeting and may actually invest in any one of these startups. And I am also joining FTX as their new CEO. Wait until you see the Sean Gold coin. You're going to love it. 3, 10 minutes total per deck. Feel free to comment, ask questions, etc. We're going to use that to discuss each deck after Jonah's review. Nothing is off the table. We want to hear from you in the chat, so please feel free to contribute. More importantly, as I said earlier, you asked and we listened. You wanted to see some decks that are further along in their entrepreneurial journey. So we have decks today with revenue, just not enough to hire a good designer, apparently. So before we begin, I want to salute and commend each founder for having the guts, the bravery, and the fortitude to come up here and get roasted. We are not personally attacking you or your business or your idea. We are, however, attacking your lack of design skills, your lack of knowledge in regard to primary colors, your lack of salesmanship, showmanship, your pitch, and your ability to successfully raise capital. Now, let's start roasting. First up is a deck for creating a secure ecosystem for remote teams. It doesn't say what kind of ecosystem, so it could be a desert, a swamp, or even a blighted, fetid wasteland. You be the judge. Give it up for Monosnap, whose founder has been trying to get roasted for months. I have never met someone so brave, so talented, and so excited to meet their own demise. Jonah, take it away.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much, Sean. And as Sean said, really happy to be here and give some unfiltered feedback. I know how hard it is. I was a founder for 20 years. So as Sean said, take none of this personally. On to Monosnap. So the first thing that I see when I open this is, to Sean's point, probably not the best design chops. The good news is the thing on the right, trusted by Shopify, Citrix, Reich, and Calendly, means that there's some validation on this thing, and I'm interested in learning more. To Sean's point, secure ecosystems for remote teams doesn't really mean anything, which is totally fine. At this point, it's a cover page. Who cares? Okay, key numbers. Now, I get what the founder's trying to do here. You're trying to lead with strength, and these numbers, I guess, are presumably strong. But the truth of the matter is most of these numbers are entirely meaningless without context.
Ouch.
So Ouch. I'm just saying. So like 81.4% users from the USA, I don't know why that matters. 1 million plus enterprise downloads, I have no idea why that matters either. The numbers here that actually matter, cherry-picked metrics don't matter. 10x enterprise ARR growth, I have no idea if you grew from $1 to 10. I have no context on what you're calling enterprise ARR growth. $0 marketing expenses, PLG, that's great, but I don't even know what your business model is yet, so I don't care. Leading with strength is awesome. The strength here is you've got $650,000 in revenue and 2.2 million users. The other thing is, if you're using a user number, VCs do this for a living. What does users mean? Is that anyone who's ever signed up? Is that a daily average user? Is that a weekly average user? Is that a monthly average user? We know the difference between all these things. So if you're going to have a number here, be prepared to defend it and use like well-known metrics, because you're using ARR in one point, you're using revenue in another point. But I like the thesis here. Lead with strength. This is strong enough that I want to learn more. Why does Shopify care, and how the hell did you get to 650K? Okay, on to the problem. The problem here is I have no idea what this means.
I thought I was the only one. Okay.
Like, all right, there's a problem. So I know there's a real problem because someone's paying you $650,000. So you obviously solve a problem. This probably works with a talk track. As a send deck, this is entirely meaningless. I have no idea what you do at all, except that you're solving something for security versus usability, which I guess I agree exists as a problem. But I don't really even know the context of what you're talking about at all. I have no context. And this is the number one thing I want everyone to remember. Your deck is supposed to be telling a story, not just a collection of slides. I have no idea what this means whatsoever. Okay, so now we've got a solution, but again, I still don't know what the problem is. So explaining a solution to a problem that I don't understand is tough. A secure ecosystem to... Okay, this is word salad. I hate to do this. It's word salad. Ecosystem.
Don't hate.
Point, like, what is an ecosystem? What do you mean by infrastructure? Some people, when they think infrastructure, think server racks. Some people think bridges. So like, I don't know what this is. What I need founders to do is just say in plain English what you're doing. The other thing is, I want to hear what the big vision is. There is a big idea in here. I actually like the company. I hate the deck because I don't know what the problem is and I still don't know what the solution is. Also, if it takes you 4 steps to explain to someone who's never met it what your problem is or what your solution is, you don't have clarity of thought and vision. This slide should be 1 to 2 sentences in plain English that explains what you do. So when I get off the phone and my partners go, what do they do? I can answer. Right now, I couldn't. Market opportunity. Again, I don't know what you do. These are big numbers, but no clue.
And why is the pyramid upside down?
Hacking, like viral productivity tool, 17 billion. The other thing is, and this is for all founders, if you're going to say huge numbers, where did you get these from? Is this like a McKinsey study? Did you multiply it on your iPhone calculator? Like, I have no idea. So if you're going to make big claims, verify them. But again, I have no context for understanding this at all. I understand your vision's big. That's good. But I don't know what this means. Also, here's another one for founders. Like, some of this cloud storage market figure includes like Amazon's S3. I still don't really know what this company does, but there's almost no universe when you're disintermediating Amazon's cloud, given what I've seen already. So why is that included as a market? Remember, big funds care at $10 billion plus. Putting a number like $354 billion is not necessary. And if it is there, you got to be able to defend it. This is great. I love that you've got customers. I still don't know what this means or what you do. But again, customers are amazing. This is users. I can't tell if these are customers. I'd be more excited if these were users. But again, this type of slide is really effective. Also, again, cherry-picked numbers like S&P, NASDAQ, and Russell 2000 greater than 250. Frankly, I don't even know what the Russell 2000 is, and that's like a weird cherry-pick stat. 80,000 companies connect. That's an amazing number. I would love to dig in on that. That's great. This slide is awesome. I still don't really know what Shopify is using you for, but on this slide alone, I'd probably take a meeting.
Ooh, look at that. We're not even through the rest of the deck.
Because if Shopify is paying you $300,000 and it's growing like a weed inside an organization that actually knows what they're doing, that's in my literal backyard, I want to know why. Your deck doesn't explain why. Your whole deck should be explaining why this graph is true. And I have no idea. What problem are you solving for them? How did it expand? Why do they love it? Why are they paying you? I don't have an answer to any one of those questions, but they are doing those things. So you're saved by your success at running a company, although you're kind of screwed by your ability to write decks.
Oh, that's a testimonial if there ever was one. And speaking of testimonials, look, we have one. What do you think of testimonials in a deck?
This is great. Again, I don't fully understand because the context to set it up isn't great. But the fact that Emily was willing to put her headshot on this, knowing it's going to VCs, means that she stands behind your product, and that's not a small thing. So you've got a banner customer with a great testimonial. Love this. Design is, let's just say blue on blue is a choice. Business model. Okay. Freemium model with conversion. I don't know if these are targets or your actual numbers. It's impossible to tell. PLQ strat, kind of unclear what that means either. How it boosts general conversion. Again, VCs are literal experts at this kind of stuff. So like, if you're going to say something, like back it up. I just don't know what this means. Revenue on existing 2 million users is $36 million. I'm assuming that's aspirational because you've already told me that your revenue is 650,000. So I guess you just multiplied, but I don't really know what that comes from. The pricing, if that's your price per user, I also don't really know how that adds up to 36 million because those two numbers don't even add to each other. And there's no way you have a realistic LTV at seed stage. So that number is made up. Good number, maybe.
And I thought I was lost.
Yeah, just like, I don't know what this is. And your projected ARR number is completely meaningless. Guys, we know it's seed stage. Just like,
thank you.
Yeah. Traction. The revenue number, great. Shopify, that's great. Profit margin, sure. I mean, it's software. That's where it should be. I still don't really know who you're going after in any major way. Again, traction should be like, this is our revenue. This is our revenue growth. I don't know if enterprise, like you keep saying revenue, but then ARR. Do you have non-ARR revenue? Like, do you have service revenue? I don't want that. Registrations growth. I don't know what registrations are. You're using all these different numbers interchangeably. Registrations, users. Pick one set of metrics. David Sachs on his craft blog's got a good one, but just pick one set of metrics and run with them. And then again, there's this cherry pick number at the back. Milestones. Okay, this is for all founders. Your deck is kind of like a first date. Your only job on your first date is to get to a second date. I don't need to know all this. If we're on a first date and you start telling me about like your parents and like all sorts of weird shit, I'm probably going to be like, that's TMI and I don't want to know. I don't need to know any of this right now. It's all I want to know for a seed deck is, what are you doing? What's your big vision? Is the team awesome? Do you have traction?
I mean, but these are nice. These are. It's nice to dream. Dare to dream, founders. Just keep that dream out of the deck.
Right. Like, I don't really know what you do, so why would I care that in Q2 in 18 months you're going to integrate with Slack? Like, none of this makes much sense to me. Same thing. All of these check mark slides with features, software isn't really one at early stage on features, so I don't know why I care about this at all. I would just can this. This is all noise. I don't even.
Well, we do know that Lightshot is malware. So anyone in the chat, don't get Lightshot. I don't even know what Lightshot is, but I don't want it now.
Yeah, tough day for Lightshot. But other than that, I don't know. Team. Okay. This should be. I don't really know like what any of your backgrounds are. So what I want to know here is, why are you the right team to do this? And I have no idea what any of your backgrounds are. There's not a link to your LinkedIn that I can click through and find out. I have no idea. I just don't know anything. 10 years of experience.
I mean, I do like the shot of the entire team. It looks like the ending of the opening credits to a 90s sitcom where they're all sitting together. It's like Friends is about to start, or Full House. Look at this. It's like, we got a great episode for you. I don't know why there's a ninja. I get it. Ninjas are cool. I'm the former nightlife ninja. But, I mean, come on. This is stuff is just not needed. Anyways, I had to point that out. Please continue.
And the lap sitting is a really nice touch. At any rate, the point is, highlight your team. What have you done previously? What makes you a fit to be solving this problem? Product market fit, clients and revenue. Yeah, you've told us that. Learned how to work on the mistakes. Well, that's good. Growing is good. This is just not a particularly good slide. Tell me what you've done. Show me a link to your LinkedIn. What makes you uniquely situated to solve this problem and build a unicorn? I don't really know that answers from this. This is cool. You're presuming I know who these people are.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know these headshots. It's like, this only works if it's a Marvel movie. Where it's like, there's Spider-Man, there's Iron Man. Like, who are these people?
Right, and half of these look like straight stock images. Like, especially the Calendly guy. Looks like you literally just ripped it from Getty. But again, you've already told me, like, what I'd rather see is on your traction slide being like, enterprise leaders stand behind our product, and then just list the company. And then, yeah, obviously you're talking to your customers. It'd be weird if you weren't. So I don't know what this is. This is great. The breakdown on the right is not needed. Every seed round is for sales, marketing, and product development. I don't really care about this yet. Good to know what you're looking for. Yeah. So that's it.
No, there's still more pages.
Oh, there's.
You're not getting out that easy.
Okay. Yes.
We have the contact page again, like the superhero.
Right.
But then we have
LinkedIn. Yep. This should be on your team slide. And is there more?
Yes, there's this one last page that I don't understand while it's here. It looks like, wait, there's more. I mean, we just added it for
passing this. So if you're going to include product, you would include this after solution. So it'd be solution. This is what we're solving, and this is how we do it. It is entirely unclear from two screen caps what this does. I have no more information. And if you're going to include a link to the thing, which I wouldn't do, yeah, this is a big miss because it doesn't really explain anything.
Okay, well, seeing as you are in the OpenVC new presenter, you can see buttons right at the bottom. Decline or take a meeting. Smash or pass, as the kids say. What are you thinking?
I will take a meeting. This is great traction from tier 1 clients. Someone who's built something that people like, that are growing in banner customers, and a truly miserable deck. But let's learn more.
All right, look at that. Book a call. Look how the OpenVC app, look at OpenVC.app. It looks so fluid, so nice. It's great. We're changing the game. Oh, but the Calendly, it's not there. But don't worry, Monosnap will put you guys together. Okay, awesome. Wow. Well, that was good. See, tough love, but it works. Okay. Thank you, Monosnap, for standing out as our first ever deck with revenue. But being just like many of our other decks, you still may possibly miss your fundraising goals. but getting a meeting on the first shot. Awesome. All right. Time to bring up deck number 2. Jonah, you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Next up is Prio Shop, which must be the Bengali translation for oh no. Oh no. Jonah, take it away. I think this is 2 pages in. I think we can go 2 pages.
Apologies.
Yeah, 2 pages. There we go. Okay.
All right. This is a good cover page. It's well designed. It explains what it does. Great. Perfect. Okay, you explain what you do. Great. I wouldn't lead with this. It's not really like a narrative. It just kind of hits me over the head. You're presuming I understand what MSMEs are, which I don't necessarily.
We can ask the chat. Does anyone in the chat know what an MSME is? If so, please let us know. We'll learn together.
Yeah, there's just like a lot of information here right out of the hop. And again, to use the dating analogy, this is a little bit like we sat down and you're like, I'm looking to get married with 6 kids. And it's like, what? We haven't
even ordered dinner yet.
Yeah, exactly. So I would do that. Same thing. Same comment about the team slide. It's a handsome man in a poorly fitting t-shirt. I don't have much else from this.
No, it's more than that. Look how happy he is in that shirt. That is the face of everyone who took a free shirt, never expecting to wear it until they actually have to do so.
Okay.
Until they actually have to. So why is it in the slide? I have no idea.
So if this is narratively where you're going to talk about your personal experience and why you have founder market fit, that's awesome. So the same thing I said about the last deck, a link to your LinkedIn. Why are you the right person to do this? You know, all the things. Okay. I don't know.
Oh, it's micro, small, and medium enterprises. Okay. Thank you, Rob, for helping us out.
Okay. Thank you. Now I've learned something, which is actually a lesson on acronyms. Don't use acronyms unless you're sure everyone knows them. Because like all VCs come from different sectors and people may or may not know. This slide, I have no idea what this is telling me. Okay, problem. Awesome. This should probably be your second slide or the team slide where you're telling your personal story of why you have founder market fit. So you're explaining the problem. This is well designed. It's problem faced by retailer. I know who it is. That makes sense. Good. This is a good problem slide. This, I presume, is your solution. So this would actually be a great spot for what you put on the second slide where you actually like explain what you do in plain English. If you're trying to explain what you do with screenshots, guys, you know what all screenshots look like? They look like software. It's kind of hard to differentiate, especially in a foreign language like that I don't speak. I can't read some of these screenshots, which is totally fine, but then you need to explain them. So I would love to see here, you explain the problem. I'd love to see in plain English, you explain the solution and then go into the actual product. Here's the other thing. Before you get into business model, and this is true for almost everyone, I want to understand the impact of your product. Why do people care? Why does a solution matter? This business model is why it matters to you. I have no idea why anyone actually wants to use it. And then here's another one. There's a cardinal sin here. Like there's a spelling mistake on this slide.
I thought it was spelled as soufflier. It's not French?
That's right.
Okay.
So, like you're asking strangers for millions of dollars. It's, like make your bed in your Zoom room and like spell things correctly. If I don't think you can do basic executional stuff, especially in this market, why are you getting money? So triple check. This is great. Again, I don't have a lot of context here, but this is up and to the right is great. It's kind of a little bit, yeah. So, I mean, that's good. I always get a little weird when graphs stop before present day. So like August 22 is great. Did that mean September and October just sucked? Or you don't like updating decks?
We just couldn't fit. I mean, obviously it's a slide. We're limited by the slides. It's not us.
What I immediately assume when I see something like this and I'm like, September and October sucked. They stopped growing. So if that's not true, then, put it on there. If it is true, we're going to cherry pick numbers or VC's favorite thing to point out. This is awesome. You've got great GMV growth. Same point. I would actually lead with GMV growth over order growth because ultimately that's what I care about. Or you could even overlay these on the same two graphs. That's a bit of a nit, but these are amazing numbers. Awesome. Why are you winning? This is great. I don't think this explains why you're winning. This is metrics, but it doesn't tell me why you're winning. It just says your metrics. There's nothing wrong with this metric slide, but the title is not connected to it in any way, shape, or form. So what I know right now is that you've got good metrics on a business that I like dimly understand.
I like that phrase, dimly understood. Maybe we should put a light bulb on over us. We'll understand it better. We'll look brighter.
I think this why now is good. I would narrow this down to 3 numbers. VCs, like we see a million. I read like 20 of these a day. And so you're asking me to remember in just 4 slides, like 15 pieces of information. And again, the only things I really need to care about is like, do I like the team? Is the market opportunity there? Is there real traction? And what's the vision? And a lot of that's not shining through. And I'm just being inundated with like a bunch of information that I don't need. Why now makes sense.
You got another guy in a t-shirt that looks like he was forced against his will to wear it. But yeah.
Right. Yeah. So the hostage image is, again, a choice, I guess. Not sure how the picture connects to anything. Don't need it. Market size. That's great. That's good to know. Again, there's so many numbers in here. I don't know what I don't know what any of this means, really.
I mean, this picture, where's the guy with the t-shirt? This guy looks like he was forced to download the app against his will and use it and keep it on his phone for his picture. And he was promised a free t-shirt. It's like they ran out, so he's kind of upset. Like, why have this? That's the look
of a man who didn't get a free orange t-shirt. So
exactly.
Yeah, I'm being inundated with numbers. I don't really know what this means. What I need to know is the impact of how you help these people. You've explained the problem in the product slide about credit, the specific numbers. This is all like second, third meeting information. Founders, don't tell us everything all at once. We're not that smart. We can't remember it. Same thing. There's way too much information here. What I really want to know is who are the founders? And then because the founders aren't technical, who the CTO is, the assistant to the regional vice president over here. Like, that's great.
It's a lot of people for one slide. Is this the startup team or is this their starting lineup for the World Cup? I mean,
right.
It's too many.
Investors is great. So the competitive landscape, again, I'd rather in words you'd understand why you're winning, which you do here. All these check mark slides, like you have to assume like, oh, you're not inventory led. Like I have no idea if that's good or bad. I don't know the market. So you're just telling me way too much here. Global comparables. This is good. I would put this with your why now, like group all the global information. These call to action slides are completely useless and achieve no purpose. And
wasn't there supposed to be something that every pitch deck has? Oh, wait, asking for an amount of money.
Yeah, like I also have no idea. Are you raising I just have I have no context for, especially because you're global, right? You can't even use a seed. Like, what are you raising and to do what? Are you expanding in markets? Like, I need $1 million to take over the country. Okay. I need $3 million to bring it to the US. Like, okay, but I just have no context.
Okay, well, Prio shop. I like the length. I like the design. It was ultimately short but pointless. Smash or pass, Jonah? What do you think? Accept or decline?
This for us is I'm going to actually cop out and say middle way.
There's only two options.
All right.
There's only 2 buttons at the screen.
It's out of scope. So wrong geography.
Decline
is the reason, and I obviously gave a lot of feedback.
Okay. Oh, look at how beautiful our OpenVC platform looks when you're examining decks. Okay. Our last deck, yay, is Unicorn Platform, which is the closest that this startup is ever going to get to unicorn status. Let's begin.
Okay. So cover page. You're telling me way too much stuff. You're trying to build a narrative, and you're literally putting the lead at the front. So you want to have like a short tagline or nothing here. Also, these like second prize in a beauty contest things that you won, why is this, like, who awarded them? Why do I care that you were the #2 product of the week 4 years ago? Like, it's a very specific choice.
So little obsolete, little old school.
And I don't even know who awarded it. Like, who, like your mom, like who decided? And if it was your mom, what was the #1 product? Like, I have questions. Let's just move on.
Thank you.
Okay. Problem. IT projects need a website. Building and maintaining a website is time consuming. Yes, I need a lot more specificity around what the actual problem you're solving is here, because there are a lot of ways to build a website in 2022, and most VCs are aware of all of them, particularly for IT projects, since this is what we do all day. So this is lacking.
We got a testimonial. Look at that. This is from a random user, though. Does that count? Does a random comment?
Right. Yeah. Again, same thing. Like, there's lots of ways to build a website quickly. What I want to know is, what's the actual problem within the existing product suites that exist, within the current ways that you're being solved? What's your vision that's different? And then from your vision, like, that's something that's missing here, is like, I don't really understand what the vision is. Because if it's just a WYSIWYG website builder, then this just becomes a differentiation play. And it's going to be hard to understand how something beats like a Squarespace or similar. VCs are immediately going to go to the venture winners in the category. So if you're fighting in a venture category, you need to explain what is new or different from an insider product perspective. That doesn't do that. Okay, this makes sense, I guess. But again, without the other stuff. And then I'm not sure why there's a WordPress thing here, because I guess WordPress is a competitor, because you can build a website there. So not really understanding that choice either. Market size. Okay. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. So
there's all your competitors.
Right. So again, just listing them, like, what I want to know is, why are you different? And like, what are these people lacking? Because if VC's just gonna be like, why can't I do this on Webflow? And you're acknowledging that they can. I'm just not really clear why. And then, yeah.
Wait, there's more?
And again, like, you're speaking to an audience, like, you're building, IT and SaaS websites. You're speaking to a very knowledgeable audience. Like, competing with the business card is a little bit like competing with the question mark. Like, it's not super.
I can sense the market opportunity with so many competitors that are both direct and indirect. It's ripe for investment and disruption.
Yeah, so you just got to, like, listing them. Okay, so good. You're getting into competitive advantage. Focus. Again, I'm not really understanding why this is different or better. I would argue that Webflow is probably also pretty focused on this audience. And I'm not really sure how this is different or better.
But wait, there's more. We got multiple competitive advantages that all could be put on a single slide. But you do you. That's what this deck says to me. This deck is the equivalent of you do you.
And here's another one, guys. Like, don't do this. Like, every time I see a slide and it's like, we thoughtful UI UX. So there's a bunch of people at Squarespace who just aren't thinking about their UI UX. Don't make subjective claims. They're just, like, inherently not credible. Like, for example, and this one's really bad, like, we pay dramatical attention to details, except with the exception being that sentence, because it should say we paid dramatic attention to details. Bad. It's really bad.
Say it with me, Grammarly, or just have someone read it.
Have someone read it. Go find, like, a literal, like, English teacher that doesn't know what you do and have them edit it to make sure it makes sense. So if what you're really trying to say is, look, we're relentlessly focused on a feature set that this audience needs, and we've designed everything inside out so that these people can win, then say that. That's at least credible. And then if you wanted to have a quote from not a random person on a forum, then sure, I'll buy that. again, style is subjective. I mean, there's probably some people in the last deck that are like, this is an awesome t-shirt. So
I
I
want
just,
one of those T-shirts now.
Sean, it's your color. So
It is.
you know what I mean? Like, style's subjective. This doesn't really tell anything. Okay, so here's the craziest part. Despite the fact that your first 6 or 7 slides, I would argue that most VCs by now have already closed your deck. You actually have users on this thing.
You actually have
people
revenue. I take back everything I said.
It is good. You just suck at talking about it. Put this first, because the first thing I'm going to want to know is like, why would anyone use this? No one's ever going to use this, except I'd be wrong because you're growing. So what I need to know is who's using it, why are they using it, in their words, not yours, and then, some of this information. Like, this is much more helpful. Also, I don't know why you included everything below 2020. It just makes it look like you've been around for a while. So I would certainly address that. But this is a highlight. You actually have revenue and users, a lot of them. You don't really need a slide for this. This could literally just be like SaaS users. I mean, every VC knows what SaaS is. To your point, there's nothing interesting about this model, which is totally fine. There's nothing like super interesting about Salesforce's model either, but they get to build giant skyscrapers, so that's fine too. I don't care about pricing yet. Again, only thing I need to know is your vision, your competitive advantage, your team, traction, market. None of this matters right now. Okay, so you've said your long-term product vision. What I want to know is your long-term company vision. All-in-one customer communication platform. Again, like front would like a word. I don't think that's what you are. Maybe that's what you are.
And you're trying to do too much. You're trying to be like Forrest Gump. Don't do too much. You're good. You're good with what you're doing now. Don't try and be an email newsletter service, because then you got to deal with MailChimp and Substack and Ghost. And don't try to be a CRM. You're losing me. You had me. Now you're trying to be everything to everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And if there's a credible reason why this is true, then sure. But basically what I'm reading here is after we take on Webflow and Squarespace, we're going to beat MailChimp and then Zendesk and then Salesforce. And then, you get the idea. No one company is going to do all these things. Milestones, don't care. Marketing strategy, don't care.
But look at this. It looks like my grocery list. It's just a to-do list.
Yeah. Okay. And then Alexander, like, I love investing in entrepreneurs that have failed. I've failed businesses. It's a thing that happens. And I like that you're so upfront about it. But like, some dressing it up wouldn't be the worst. Because basically this reads like, I have 8 years experience and most of them were bad. And like, that's just not.
And we also forget the number one thing in our second deck today, and you have revenue. You can't forget this. What's the ask? What do you want?
Right.
How much are you raising?
Sorry, I didn't know this was the last slide. So
It's the last one. So for everyone today, we've had 2 decks that don't have an ask. So if you're creating a pitch deck, it means you are pitching something. So it's great that you're pitching your story, but usually there's an end result, unless we're just going to read it and nothing's going to happen. Ask for something. Ask for some money, some guidance, directions. Have an ask. But I like this guy, Alex. He seems like a guy that I think he made this deck, and I could be wrong. I think he made this deck just because someone said you need a deck, and he's already building the business, and he's like, I don't know how to do a deck, but I don't care. I'll make it in an hour when I'm free. And that's what it looks like to me. But you do you. Like I said, it's pretty unique in that respect. As always, Jonah, smash, pass, accept, or decline.
So I'm gonna pass for now.
Oh, declined.
But Alex, if you came back with a proper deck, I'd be willing to take a meeting.
Wow. Okay. So look at that. See, despite that rough exterior and the harsh comments, Jonah wants to write checks. Okay. Founders, it is up to you to be presentable. Take the meetings. Raise some money. Build some companies. You know, that's what we're here for. So, again, for those joining us, we have a special treat for you today. Our next roast is a week from now, same time, same place, but this time we are giving the VCs a taste of their own medicine. An LP, limited partner, for those not in the know, will be roasting decks from 3 general partners that they use to raise money for their respective funds. So if you've ever been denied and want revenge on all those VCs who said you were too early, too small, or just not a right fit for their fund thesis, then you need to be here. We're going to have a link going around in the chat. We're also going to be putting the link on socials today. And it will be hosted by the founder of OpenVC, the executioner in residence, Stefan Nasser. If we have no questions in the chat or comments or anything, then I guess we are going to finish this. We'll give it 30 seconds because last time we did this, we had a lot of questions and we had to pull out. But no, we just have lots of compliments. They love you, Jonah. They love you. They love your bluntness, your no mercy, your great advice, and the fact that 2 out of 3 decks willing to take a meeting. Wow, you know, that's prepare for the LinkedIn message. You roasted my deck. I'm coming back with it. Yeah, we add also, if you want to be featured in the next startup roast, we have a link that will be going around as well. I want to thank everyone for coming up here and taking the abuse. That was rough. I felt that, and I wasn't even in the deck. But I hope you find funding, and from the comments today, I feel like making a few tweaks you will, or in the worst case, at least a good day job. Say it with me, DoorDash. Don't forget to like, share, comment on social media and make this go viral. I want to thank OpenVC, Jonah Midanik, Stefan Nasser, and you for being here. I'm Sean Gold, and in the season of giving thanks, I'm extremely thankful for you and the fact that I don't have to look at any more of these decks for a while. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.